Hello, everyone. So, the title, the title is the title. Maybe I'll die with this fucking virgin accent. Shit. I'm gonna take this accent with me to the grave. Unto the grave. So the title is "What's so wrong? What's so wrong being self-centered, narcissist, arrogant, vain, conceited, you name it, or even selfish. What's so wrong about it? And it's not as obvious as it may seem. Like, why are they so bad? A counter to it would be, which is I deem to be callous, but it's still valid and fair point. You make your point fair and square, is that, well, no one likes them. I mean, no one likes them, and that's fine. But that's like begging the question, why no one likes them? You might say, well, why do you care, Zishan? Why do you care if someone is? Why do you care if someone feels triggered or offended or just plain um, doesn't like a narcissist, conceited, arrogant, self-centered, selfish, arrogant prick? Why? Or like a smug person? Anyone who thinks they're superior than the rest of mankind. Why do you care, Zishan? We can feel fine, but that still doesn't answer the question. I see your point. That's valid. You're answering a question with a question, but it still doesn't answer the question. Why is it such a bad thing? I mean, why is it quote unquote bad? Well, then you might say it's not bad. It's just people. But why? Why doesn't society like it? See, Alan Watts again has, and you know what? I frankly don't care if I keep saying Alan Watts, because he has been an immense influence on me, and I personally didn't want to, like, I was dismissive of his name when I first, in my contemporary philosophy class at Orange Coast College, this dude, he was talking about it. Like, oh, do you know Zen Master Alan Watts? He's like, yeah, and the professor was a cool dude. I forgot his name. I don't know. Shit, Townsend, I think. Yeah, Townsend. He was a cool dude, and he was like, yeah, I heard of him, and then the guy was like, and it was the end of the class was over, and this guy kept talking about Alan Watts. I was like, dude, and I was a little cart, and I said, dude, just fucking Google it, like, just go home and just fucking look it up, and that was the point, like, why I didn't take any interest in him. And now after the explosion of YouTube, where his videos pop up like mushrooms, it's like now I have exhausted almost his audio database, even though there's this live Alan Watts channel, and there are some unfound gems which are unreleased. So yeah, Alan Watts would say we society, and it could be because of religion, societal construct, programming, conditioning, authority, government, whatever the quote unquote authority. It's like because of that they want to control you, so that I don't think Alan Watts said that, but what I'm saying is because of society likes to feel equally inferior. We all want to be equally inferior, la di da, and that has to do with religious residues. Like yes, Alan Watts would say, like in the East, if you declare yourself as God, there'll be people will be like, yogis will be like, yeah, congratulations, you have found yourself. You do that in rural Nebraska, or like fucking, I don't know, Kansas, Iowa, people will fucking lynch you. I mean, it's not gonna lynch you, but you get my point. Is like, or even in Muslim countries, it's like it's a forbidden thing. It's like you can do whatever you want, but don't call yourself it. But it's like we all want to be equally inferior. Look, woe is I attitude. It's like we're the poor little meat creatures, and so that's one reason, in my opinion, why we have that. We want to feel, but it's almost like societal etiquette, norm, customs. It's like you go to a party, some guy is a braggart. No one would want to hang out or talk to him. It's like this guy's full of himself. It's like, and the genesis of this thing is, I actually want to insert the word genesis. The genesis of this was a Conor Murphy video, and as you know, I became a huge fan of him after he went fucking schizo and like batshit crazy, and that's why he won me over. So, and I never knew who he was, and looked up his old videos where he used to take off his shirt and everything. And yeah, I used to lambaste these people. These are cringe. These people are vapid. These are youthful, vapid. They're the influencer, quote unquote, so called. What a and shitty people who fucking begs for validation, craving, approval, whatnot, blah blah blah. I used to shit on them, and that's fair and square. And but now almost 80% of the comments were like, this guy is so full of himself, cringe, his ego is big, blah blah blah. But why do you care if someone's ego is so big, it's so braggadocious? Speaking of braggadocio, like, it actually dates back to Beowulf. Beowulf was, I think, the first epic poem, which was very braggadocio in nature. And even Bhagavad Gita, you read that, it's like God is like all fucking singing paeans, waxing ode to himself. It's like, I'm God, I'm the Alpha and Omega. Even in Christianity, like, I'm the God, Alpha and Omega. I'm blah blah blah. I am stone, water, rock, mountain. I'm the eternity. I am vastness. And it's like almost Atman is this. And it could also go on the opposite direction. God could be the minuscule, and as well the majuscule. So, yeah, why do you care if someone? So that was the history of like, even before hip hop, you talk of Beowulf, that was the origin. And even hip hop lost its balls. Remember, we used to always love, like, Lil Wayne declared himself, I am hip hop. Eminem, blah blah, Dr. Dre, all these people were braggarts, and that's sexy. That's like, these people grew up in the worst of the worst conditions, slum, like, not slums, like ghetto, like projects, rural, and they come from nothing to be like, as Eminem said, we come from nothing to get anything we want. And it's like basically, it's like, and even the N-word, like I think Bill Maher in an episode, he was like, the thing about with N-word is they co-opted it in him. But forget about the N-word when we're talking about N-word. Like, yeah, it's like they said, you know what, fuck it, this is the life we're born with, fuck it, might as well play the cards. And so this is who you are. This is who you are. And this raw, this hip hop was a raw expression, this visceral core expression, where it's like, this is our life, I don't give a shit, and this is who I am, this is who God placed me, and fuck you if you don't like me, this is who I am. That had the fuck you attitude. And hip hop lost his balls with this effeminate voice with the neo and all those fucking singing the air tunes. Even airwaves, radio waves, they don't even play gangster hip hop anymore. It's like, I'm sure, like, they had some little groupie get together and bitched and moaned like a Spotify employees, like, why they probably, who knows, probably they had their corporate discussion why we shouldn't have those gangster raps. But, or like, now we have effeminate Usher, Neo, those people, fuck you, man. Hip hop is dead, bro. And all these people, they're so uncreative, they don't even have cool names. Like, it's all fucking Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, Lil Shorty. Like, dude, are you so fucking, why are you... Anyways, don't get me started. So yeah, that's my point. Hip hop lost his balls, and especially in a culture where everyone is so sensitive, culture sensitive, milieu and context. Everyone is like so on their fucking treading on eggshells, on their edge. But but forget about hip hop for a moment. Why is it socially it's not acceptable if someone brags about himself? Like, from evolutionary point of view, from biological point of view, it makes perfect sense. An alpha silverback gorilla dominates, is territorial, dominates. He beats he beats his chest. But then the other people, like, you don't have to be flamboyant and flashy. You don't have to walk around wearing a dashiki and like a fucking on a unicycle and like. Yeah, but why do you care if someone is self-centered or show-off or bragger or egoistical or whatever, or someone who deems himself to be superior than you? Why do you care? And why is it bad? It's not about why do you care. It's like, why is it quote unquote bad? Why is it such a negative trait? It's because, you know what? I'll cut the bullshit right away. I'll cut to the chase. Like, I'll fucking go fucking slay the Gordian knot with my Seox. That's ACEAX. Scimitar with my nunchucks. I'll chop the Gordian knot. Like, no, it's like with my with my kusarigama. I don't know how you can even chop a yarn of knot with a kusarigama. But the point being, yeah, I'll get to the chase. The reason being, it's your ego that feels threatened. You don't like to feel the inferior. When someone declares himself superior, it's your ego that feels threatened. See, the irony is we are all fucking narcissists. We are all arrogant. We are all self-centered. We are all attention-seeking whores. In this age of Instagram, Facebook, fucking like YouTube culture, we all want attention, but we're like a little coy little bitch. We're playing footsie and we're acting all coy. We're saying no when we mean yeah, or fucking like a Rihanna song. But the point being, we all, and that's the double-sided hypocrisy, and that I think conduces and contributes to. Is conducive and contributes to all the misery in the life. If you flat out came out and just declared yourself, you know what, fuck it, I love myself. Like a real narcissist, I would have saw my reflection on the mirror, on the rear view mirror, and fell in love with myself, and I crashed. But so what do if you flat out said it, then there wouldn't be so this repressed tension and anxiety and edge over the people like we as a society have become so nervous and anxious and on the edge. It's like, but why? Why do you care if someone is self-centered and ego? From evolution and biology perspective, it makes perfect sense. We all wanna. It's me first. It is. It's as much we criticize American Western capitalist society as me first, but ultimately we are all me first. As the famous quote said, don't be so humble because you're not that great." It's yeah, it's a paradoxical. It's like a fucking Douglas Hofstadter strange loop shit, go to Leisure box shit. Like yeah, you might think, even if ego, we all have ego, and by ego I mean the mask, the fake veneer, the layer, extra layer of coating, the wainscot, and the fucking mask we wear, like with the of programming, societal conditioning, and that makes us, and that's good. That protects us. I don't know why I knocked. It's like I don't know why I did knock on wood. So it keeps us safe. It keeps us safe. It protects us, but. And even on a non-psychological, non-spiritual, psychological sense, the ego, I'm talking about the arrogance. Well, we all arrogant. There was this there was this tennis commercial I saw. I think I saw it in some of the best commercials you've never seen. Or I don't know where I saw it, but it was like at the end of the, I don't even remember the brand. It's like, go figure, the irony. And it's like, it's memorable, but you don't remember the brand. So I don't know if it's Nike, but it's like after a tennis match, two people shakes their hand, and the voiceover go, even though I'm shaking your hand, in my mind I'm better than you, and we all feel that. We all wanna see. When I took theater, our professor Phyllis, she was saying, I know you'll all be self-conscious. You'll be thinking when you go on the stage, what does everyone think about me? What does think? You'll be nervous. You'll be but the good news is everyone is fucking full of themselves, so no one will actually be thinking about you. Everyone will be thinking about themselves, and ain't that the fucking truth? Ain't that the strange truth? Yeah. So we all want to be attention. We all want to be, as much we shit on the influencer, we all want to be like that. We all want to be not like that, but there's this need, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine and dandy. Societal need for craving to feel connected, and that's good. But we hammer down those people who stands out, whether it be Socrates, Jesus, or outlandish flamboyant character like Russell Brand to Jim Carrey, Robin Williams. We like, yeah, I mean, if they channel it through their creative energy in comedy or whatever, and it makes the cha-ching big bucks, yeah, we all applaud them, laud them, and we there's apotheosis, we worship them, we idolize them. But is some random dude in the bus where when he was traveling in a bus, some guy walked in and just said, "Hey, bitch ass." Well, he was not disruptive or anything, but he you could tell by he thinks he's better than everyone. No one would like him, but why? Why do you care? And that's because your ego, and by ego I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about ego, which is insecurity, deep insecurity, and camouflage as ego, and humility, for false modesty, full modesty. That's what gets threatened. That's the sheeple. See, the sheeple, probably sheeple, and I'm not a big guy, a big alpha versus fucking beta guy, but yeah, if you want to talk from biological evolutionary point of view, like the sheeple gets threatened, like when the sheepdog is there, it's like, and since and they are the ones who's narcissistic, because they cannot fucking point to the bad guy like Scarf Al Pacino and say, "You fuck you, what are you doing in this restaurant making all the commotion, brouhaha?" They have to be this little sheeple, and they, when someone creates a scene like like Al Pacino and Scarface, the sort of voce, they like whisper behind his back, "Oh, this guy is so boorish and so rude." But the irony is, we all love, secretly we admire these people. Whether it be in Scent of Women or De Niro in Awakening or whatever, like, or like Good Will Hunting, and like people like we secretly admire them, and that's one part of finding self-realization and realizing the Godhead within. Is you have to acknowledge that you acknowledge your own divinity. I used to know this guy. His name was what the fuck was his name? Sina. He's from Afghanistan, and I think he did DMT. And one of his quote unquote DMT wisdom was, everyone wants to be the white knight, white saint. No one wants to be black sheep, and that's true. No one likes that guy. No one likes the odd guy out who like. And so even like you think of Alan Shore, the character in Boston Legal, like a lot of people didn't like him, a lot of people didn't admire him in the office politics, in the machination, like a lot of people. And if you do that, like but here's the thing, and ultimately it all ties up well, because the loose ends to gets tied up. I don't know why I'm using a knot analogy so much. Is because, like, ultimately you need the sheepdog for the sheeple to exist, and you need the sheeples for the sheepdog to exist. It's all interplay. It's like coexistence. Coincident, I don't know what's they called, coincidentarium, polarium, or like coincidence of opposites or something. Yeah, it's like yin and yang, like. But maybe, who knows, maybe, yeah, you need the thieves for the police to exist, you need the police for the thieves to exist. So, but let's just keep it simple, and let's kiss. And why is it, but it's not bad though. Real bad people are those who knows they're better, they hide it. You know, they think they're better, the smartest person in the room, but they're all quiet. And I used to be that guy. Like, I used to go to the gatherings, the parties, and I used to fucking scoff at these people. But the thing is, they are me, I am them. We're all one. Like, they're my mirror reflection. People are your reflection. But I used to let the fools talk, and I used to be, but that's my demeanor. I like to be aloof and cool and by myself, even though I'm blabbering here on YouTube. But that's myself. I like to be by myself. I don't have friends. I don't have girlfriend. I don't have family. I don't even keep in touch with family members, relatives, whatever. Just my parents and myself. That's it. Me, myself, and fucking I. So yeah, but so in the cultural content, the norms of society dictates that you shouldn't brag about yourself. You go in a lecture, you can TED talk or Oscar, like, we should be grateful, humble. But why is humility a virtue? I think humility is one of the toxic thing you can have, especially not even a fake modesty. I'm just talking real humility, because by saying you're humble, by saying you're humble, you're saying you're somehow better than people. Oh, I'm so humble than you are. You are an arrogant little prick who thinks who's so better than other people. But look at me, I'm this pretty little humble boy. Humility, I'm so cool, I'm a fucking beta male, and I'm better than other people. So that's fucking arrogance, you prick. So, why is humility considered such a virtue, and arrogance and conceit is looked down upon? And my contention is that is because of our own ego that gets threatened, that we somehow feel derived this guilt trip, this no, power tripping pleasure of by like, the as the Japanese proverbs, and Japanese people are like, yeah, you go out and be even in Bangladesh or Japan, like those countries, or some other countries which are not America. You're exhibiting yourself. You're like, what I mean by exhibiting is like, if suppose you're a colorful personality, blah blah blah. And black people, and again, this is not a racist thing. I think black people love that. And that's why hip hop grew. Like, it's because black people, they were suppressed so for so long. They're like, fuck it, I'm gonna be, this is who I am. Proud black is proud, powerful, pride, beautiful. They owned it. And like a lot of, like, I see in like especially in Orange County, not too many black people, but whenever there is one, they're very, like, yesterday I was in Barnes and Noble, and this guy was very loud, and they're very boisterous, and that's fine, that's cool. Like you can be the sigma male or what. Again, I'm not a much believer into this hierarchy, but yeah, you can be the sigma male and let the other fool talk. Like Denzel was like the loudest guy in the room gets shut down. Like he was, I think he was a sigma more than alpha in American Gangster. Like like because you remember the line, the loudest person in the room gets shut down, and there was other, I don't know who it was, like Eddie, I don't know, the other comedian who was like wearing this flamboyant Harlem-esque attire garb, like, with a flowing hair, hat and everything, and a far coat or whatever. But yeah, it's like, and forget about alpha and if you leave it aside, the sigma alpha thingy, it's like we wouldn't generally, it's like, and the reason why we hate them, because we ourselves are afraid to be them. So we kind of secretly, the ego is so manipulative and destructive and subtle and surreptitious and toxic. We admire them, but we can't be like those people. The guy who stands out, and you don't have to stand out at every.
New cái sự tình trạng thay
Ki?
COVID new kids
Acha.
thay thì sẽ tình trạng thay chân
Acha.
elite.
Acha. So, excuse me. So, yeah, you don't have to be that guy who's all flamboyant and and like fucking he's center of attention, the party of life. You don't have to be all the time, but yeah, it's fine if you don't want to be that guy. And I'm personally not. I'm like the guy. I want to be the gray man. I don't want to be the alpha. I don't want to be I don't want to be the gray man who's like, who kind of blends in, boring. But why is it that we hate those people? Those kind of people. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah, you might like them, but you might agree with their viewpoint. But and also, like, traditionally, you go to Babylonian feudal system. Everything is hierarchical. Even in America, slavery it's all hierarchical. Church hierarchical. Authority, there is a pyramid. There is a pyramid, and where the elite is at the top. But so it's like the sheeple, the people, the hoi polloi, the mass. They're somehow the lotus fagi. They're like sleeping in this stupor, and would, and somehow it's like, it's just like, why do you think governments spend so much? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist or like globalist or whatever. Why do you think there's someone, they don't care about, they don't give a rat's ass about any other things, but for fluoride, they put fluoride in water? Why? Because they don't, could it be human, who knows, could it be they don't want people to wake up, they don't want people to decalcify the pineal gland and up in the third eye, and that's why there's so much fluoride, and they medicate people, and I don't think there's a giant global conspiracy going, but it's, you gotta question it. Why? What is it to them? And even take about drugs, like, why are psychedelics illegal? Because does it, as Alan Watts, to borrow Alan Watts again, does it because it lets the cat out of the bag too much. And society, the people are so afraid, people in the power with their tiny little ego, who, like, trumpeting and pompously, and like in their boots, like fucking walking, stomping the ground in their little with the inferiority complex in their suits, like they feel threatened that the society will fall apart unless everyone starts ingesting psychedelics or whatever. So it's like, is there a fear? So it's almost like a fear. It's like, yeah, think about it, like, I'll give another example. I was driving yesterday, and all of a sudden this car started deliberately. He was trying to merge, but he deliberately went on the opposite way to make a U-turn so that he can align himself to face the traffic. So, and when someone does crazy shit like that, obviously you get, and it's perfectly rational response to be afraid, to be fearful, to be to be fearful. And so it's basically out of fear and insecurity, deep-seated insecurity, that we don't like those people who like brag about themselves, conceited. And that's another thing. People used to declare themselves God, but now that has become diluted. It's like no one gives a shit. Most of the time, no one gives a shit. And that's not an American. That's another thing. Culturally, the thing that different, one of the distinct differentiation between American culture and another thing, American is like, we're all kings of our kingdom. Like we all want to drive the good car, we all want to dress nice, and that's good. But if you do that in Bangladesh, if you have this nice car or you dress nice, it's like who the fuck does he think he is? People will be like, or even not Bangladesh, even in Europe. Because I have tattoos and you can tell, and I'm kind of a little bulky and chubby with baggy jeans. And when I went to Austria, it's like they knew you're from America, and like even though I have a foreign accent, I still have some subtle American accent, and they go and this like they don't like that. It's like look at this fucking sand here, fucking all fucking dolled up like an American who thinks he's but I didn't think I was better than them. So it's like, and that's subtle European racism. They wanna knock you down, like, and it was worse in South Africa. So it's like, so yeah, it's not a Bangladeshi thing or Middle Eastern thing or Chinese, Asian, Vietnamese or African. It's all anything, any countries except America. It's like when I was in South Africa, one goes like, why do the Americans think they are better than themselves? Like, oh, better than everyone. It's no, they don't. They just like they're comfortable in their own. We are comfortable in our own skin, and some people have issues with that, and that is because if you're deep-seated insecurity. See, here's the thing: if all people declared themselves, "Fuck it, we are God, I'm better than you," and if people came out of the closet, so to speak, the world would have been a much better place if and people would have been liberated. Yeah, at first things would be out of sync and it'd be out of equilibrium, but at the end people would feel liberated. It's like, yeah, fuck it, and they don't have to try so hard. And that's part of realizing the godhead within is like, yeah, fuck it, I am God, I can do whatever fuck I please. I love myself, I'm better than you. And if you have that, you don't have to prove yourself anymore. It's like Eminem, he doesn't have to prove himself to anyone. Khabib, Conor McGregor. And it's another thing, hip hop lost his balls, but UFC didn't. And even in UFC, and that's healthy actually. Healthy distress, like those bashing, those sledging, those trash talking. Those are actually healthy because at the end people shake hands and they have mutual respect for each other. So similarly, when we fucking shed this skin like snake and this emerge from the cocoon like a caterpillar to butterfly and like realize their own golden light within the orb, the shining, we are nothing but divine light. And part of the part of the shadow work is to realize that, yeah, as much as you like to deny, pretend otherwise, that you're not that you're just humble, poor little me, we're all good, blah blah, we gotta get along. You fucking think you're better than other people. Secretly you think. But the problem is not that. The problem is that you don't admit it. If you admitted it, it's like Alan Watts once said, like he was he had to give a speech in the military, to the military, Air Force or whatever, and they were saying, what's your philosophical justification for going to war? And Alan Watts flat out said, selfish. Fuck it. Not self-preservation, that's my word, because I don't want to put words in his mouth. It's like, fucking, yeah, it's all selfish. And ain't that the truth? Whether it be a Richard Dawkins with selfish gene, whether it be paramecia to the tiniest little dot cell, to an animal, lion or gazelle, or it's like evolutionary, it's survival, not of the fittest, survival, me first. It's like everyone for himself, dog eat dog world. But we try to kind of, sort of keep it down, we want to, like, we don't, we and it's like, you can't. It's like trying to make a dog's tail like straight, or like it's like impossible task. It's like it's like, or like smoothing the ripples of the water, like ironing them. It's like you can't do it, and it's like no matter how much how bad you try, and you're in this anxiety, in this where one foot is on the accelerator, one foot is in the gas pedal. It's like and there's like Alan Watts would say, like, what's it called? Like, you're a sticky, quaking mess. Because of that, like, because you're not acknowledging your own shadow, you're not denying it, you're denying it, you're like, secretly, inside, deep down inside, you say, motherfucker, I'm better than you, fuck yeah, I feel better, I feel good. But if you admitted it, if you felt how you truly felt about yourself, you'll actually feel good about yourself. And that would liberate you, and then you don't need to go hard and try hard, go out of your way and blah blah blah, do all the things that you do, whether you're an empath. If you acknowledge the inner narcissism, the empath would be cured. Then empath wouldn't go around helping other people, because you realize he's a fucking asshole and he's not as empathic he thought he was. Empaths are not virtuous, narcissists are not evil. Narcissists can be virtuous and empaths can be evil. As the, I don't know if it's Gandhi who said it, like in the Brahmin, there's a, it's like yin and yang. It's like in every Brahmin there's a martyr, in every martyr there's a Brahmin. So there's humility in conceit, and there's conceit in humility. Thank you for listening. I gotta wrap up. Wow.